Some people are happy with their faces, and some aren't. Others, whether they want to modify their faces just for the kick of it, or use them to perform amazing feats, have captured the attention of thousands around the world. Have you ever heard of Antanas Kontrimas, the man with the strongest beard? What about Laine Davidson, a woman with almost 7,000 piercings on her body? If you want to see some of the most out-of-this-world faces you've ever seen, keep watching as we count down 15 unrealistic faces that exist in the world.
Does it hurt? Do you feel any?
No, it doesn't hurt.
No.
Number 15. José Cristina Méndez, also known as the Vampire Woman or the Jaguar Woman, is a Mexican lawyer, businesswoman, activist, and tattoo artist. She is well known for her dramatic physical transformations, which she began as a way to protest against domestic violence. According to Guinness World Records, she is the world's most tattooed woman, with 96% of her body covered in tattoos, and is one of the most well-known individuals in the world of tattoo art. The remaining 4% are the palms of her hands, which are notoriously tough to tattoo. Her other body modifications include a split tongue, subdermal implants, piercings, ear expansions, eye tattoos, scarification, and dental implants. She regularly attends tattoo and body modification events and conventions around the world. She's also appeared in several television episodes, including Taboo on the National Geographic Channel, as well as body suspension events. Ripley's Believe It or Not has created a wax figure of CRISTERNA in one of their museums. Number 14. A TikTok celebrity confessed she had to show she hadn't had any surgery before being given the Guinness World Record for having the biggest female lips. Samantha Ramsdell, 31, of Stamford, Connecticut, made headlines last year when she revealed on social media that her mouth can open to an incredible 2.56 inches. Guinness recognized her for breaking the world record for the largest female mouth gape and showed that she could do it when she stuffed an entire meal into her mouth at once. When questioned when she first noticed her mouth was bigger than usual, she responded she had known she had a big mouth since she looked in the mirror. You'll notice that her face has always been 80% mouth if you look at her baby pictures. She didn't pay attention until she saw comments on social media about how big her mouth was. Samantha developed her social media accounts to show off her acting skills, not realizing that her unique facial feature would garner so much attention. Samantha only had a few hundred social media followers in 2019, but she currently has 1.7 million TikTok fans. Who says having a big mouth isn't adventurous? Who says having a big mouth isn't advantageous? Number 13. The Guinness World Record for the most body changes has been beaten by a German man. ROLF BUCHHOLZ has over 516 body modifications under his belt, and he thinks he's not finished yet. According to Guinness World Records, ROLF works in information technology for a German telecommunications company. When he was 40 years old, he had his first tattoo and piercing, and it was the start of his body modification journey. He has become nearly unrecognizable in the more than 20 years thereafter, with countless piercings over his lips, eyebrows, nose, and even 2 small horns on his forehead. He believes the modifications have just affected the outside of his body. They haven't altered his personality. Rolf's alterations include 453 piercings, tattoos, and subdermal implants. In 2010, he was declared the man with the most body piercings by the Guinness Book of World Records. After being turned away from a Dubai hotel in 2014 for a presentation, he became well known. Management had failed despite all efforts to gain permission for ROLF BUCHHOLZ to enter, according to a representative from the hotel where he was scheduled to perform. After 5 years of revisions, ROLF BUCHHOLZ had 2 horns implanted in his forehead. Number 12. Brian Jackson, an Oklahoma native, was born with steel-like lungs. He has 11 Guinness World Records, one of which is for the heaviest vehicle lifted with breath. Jackson is also the world record holder for bursting 3 hot water balloons in under a minute. Before you try to beat Brian Jackson's record, keep in mind that 5 individuals have died because of their lungs bursting from air rushing back down their throats. It takes 170 pounds of pressure to blow up, which is equivalent to blowing up 4 automobile tires. Nothing can prevent the air from returning to the lungs. After years of drug and alcohol misuse, Jackson, a Cherokee, Cree, and Seminole Native American, now travels the United States as a motivational speaker. Jackson claimed to have popped over 6,000 hot water bottles since beginning his tour of America as a clown in 1992. Jackson set his first Guinness World Record for fastest hot water bottle burst in April 2006 with a time of 51.98 seconds. In April 2009, he achieved a new world record for fastest time to explode 3 hot water bottles with a time of 1 minute and 8 seconds. Jackson also appeared on True TV's Guinness World Records Gone Wild on July 6, 2012, where he set a record for most hot water bottles blown up in 1 minute, with 5. He's previously broken his own Guinness World Record for heaviest vehicle lifted with breath, twice. The most recent time in Beijing, China, when he lifted a 3,352-pound car using just his breath. Number 11. Antanas Kontrimas, a Lithuanian, holds the Guinness World Record for lifting weights with his beard. Antanas Kontrimas of Lithuania possesses the same strength in his beard as Samson did in his hair. He currently holds a Guinness World Record for lifting weights with his beard. Antanas managed to pull off this odd accomplishment entirely by chance. He started growing his beard to promote beer in a television commercial. That is how the beard thing happened. A fitness event was being hosted in his hometown of Telšiai, Lithuania at the time. His friends were working out and practicing for the competition. Antanas jokingly challenged them to see if he could pick up the weights with his beard. When his buddies pushed him to try, he did. And for the first time in his life, he was able to lift a barrel of beer weighing 40 kilograms. The episode was carried by Lithuanian television stations, and he quickly became a national hero. They wanted to make it official 2 days later, so he repeated his accomplishment. Following that, Antanas claims to have grown in strength, lifting beer barrels, grain sacks, pulling a 3-ton Jeep with 5 soldiers inside, and even hauling a jet. All this while sporting a beard. In the year 2000, the Guinness Book of World Records contacted him with conditions for establishing a new record. By lifting 55.7 kilos, he set a new world record. He was the first person to set a Guinness World Record. He was invited to Hollywood the next year to better his record. By lifting a 59-kilo weight, he raised the bar. Antanas' fitness regimen consists of daily activities, which begins with a bare-body 100-meter run every morning in temperatures that regularly dip below -10 degrees. He maintains that the type of lifting he does requires strong neck muscles. The beard that has brought him so much fame and notoriety is lovingly cared for and manicured. He takes care of it with natural shampoos. Antanas cannot plait his beard because he is the leader of his local community and must wear a formal suit, so he lets it fly in the breeze. Number 10. Lucky Rich Diamond was at the top of his game in 2007, traveling the world, earning ridiculous money doing circus acts, and recently being named the world's most tattooed guy by Guinness World Records. He was destitute, living in a storage facility, addicted to crystal meth, and on the verge of going insane by 2017. Rich got his first tattoo, a little juggling bat on his hip, when he was 16 years old in 1987. He made it easy to hide since he was frightened his mother would disapprove. The more tattoos he received, the more popular he became, and he was able to travel around the world, making money as a street performer and partying until dawn every night. Rich covered everything from his eyelids to his gums to his genitals to become the world's most tattooed guy. Because he has tattoos over tattoos over tattoos, he is completely covered. Rich was unconcerned about the stares. Instead, he felt sad for individuals who had to work from 9 to 5. He was raking in huge sums of money. He appeared to be the happiest man on the globe, but he was terribly depressed. Rich's 30-year career included a lot of drinking, but what started as a few beers quickly escalated into lines of cocaine, and then a crystal meth addiction. He'd be clean for a few years at a time, but he'd inevitably revert back to his old habits. Rich has always led a nomadic existence, but when he began doing drugs too frequently to even perform, homelessness became an unavoidable reality. Rich knew he'd never be able to stay clean while still performing, and so he went to work for a construction firm. Rich is still the world's most tattooed guy, but he's more likely to be recognised in the supermarket than on stage. He claims he's unconcerned about the glances. Tattoos, performing arts, and the arts in general saved his life. He truly believes he owes it to the role of being the world's most tattooed man. Number 9. KIRUBEL YILMA, a 21-year-old Ethiopian student, set a world record by spraying water for almost a minute from his mouth. By spraying water in a continuous stream for 56.36 seconds, he broke a new Guinness World Record for longest time to shoot water from the mouth. To break the record, Yilma drank numerous bottles of water before elevating his mouth into the air and ejecting a continuous spray of water without pausing. After watching former world record holder Dixon Oppong on television, he was inspired to break the previous record of 46.86 seconds. Yilma's stomach can regurgitate water. To set the record, he coupled his ability with skills acquired in school and months of refining his breathing method. He claims that as a second-year medical student at Addis Ababa University, he understands how to efficiently use his muscles to shatter the record. Number 8. Victor Peralta has many piercings and microdermals, body implants, dental implants, ear expanders, ear bolts, and a forked tongue. He's covered in tattoos, covering 90% of his body. He holds the Guinness World Record with his wife for the world's most modified married pair. Gabriela, 42, and Victor, 43, both from Buenos Aires, Argentina, have been together for 13 years and describe each other as perfect. They adore each other. They each have numerous tattoos and alterations, and they continue to add to their collections despite what others may think. At the age of 13, Victor received his first tattoo, an F word across his fingers, while Gabriela got a crimson rose on her chest, which has since been covered up. Gabriela had been a piercer and body modification expert for 6 years, and he had been a professional piercer for 20 years. All that matters is that they don't hurt anyone, and that they love each other. Number 7. Most of us associate people with odd bodily adornments with those who are heavily tattooed or have hundreds of piercings. Such adjustments, however, necessitate a significant investment in both time and money. Francisco Domingo Joaquim, on the other hand, owes his remarkable talent entirely to heredity. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, Francisco possesses the world's largest mouth, measuring 6.69 inches. In fact, his gob is so large that he can put an entire soft drink can horizontally inside it, earning him the moniker Angolan Jaw of Ore in his native Angola. Francisco, then 20 years old, put his skills to the test in Rome in 2010 at the Big Mouth tournament. Contestants were given a variety of items to squeeze into their mouths, including saucers, coffee cups, and beer bottles. However, Francisco, who was able to fit a 330ml Coca-Cola can into his unstretched mouth, came out on top. Francisco gained the attention of the press junket after demonstrating his jaw-dropping talents on the streets of Luanda, Angola's capital, and was invited to perform on an Italian television show, where he popped a can in and out of his mouth 14 times in 1 minute. Being recognised by Guinness World Records, according to the 28-year-old, was a dream come true. Number 6. One extra ring might not seem like much to someone who has approximately 7,000 metallic piercings on their body. But as the world's most pierced woman today marries, the newest addition to Laine Davidson's collection could be her most cherished ring yet. Miss Davidson married in Edinburgh, where she lives and manages a shop despite having an incredible 6,925 piercings. The 42-year-old was brought to a register office in Edinburgh, where she was all dressed in a white gown with pink flowers in her hair. She also kept her signature piercings, as well as green, yellow, and blue paint markings on her face, in place for the big event. Douglas Watson, who doesn't have any visible piercings, wore a dark blue suit with a blue shirt and tie for the 35-minute ceremony. She was also escorted inside the Edinburgh Registry Office by 2 pink-dressed bridesmaids. In May 2000, a Guinness World Records official checked the Brazilian-born former nurse and discovered 462 piercings on her body, including 192 in her face, breaking the record for the most piercings. Miss Davidson had previously stated that she never takes off the rings and studs, which she estimates to weigh roughly 3 kilos in total. She further claims that the piercing is painless and that she sleeps with all her piercings in place every night. She did, however, confess in 2009 that she dislikes getting pierced and that she suffers because of her work. She too wants to shatter the record, and she understands that to do so, she must suffer. Miss Davidson, who has walked on fire and glass and sleeps on a bed of nails, says she adores extreme sports and theatre, but does not drink or smoke. Number 5. ASHRITA FURMAN has played more games of hopscotch and somersaulted farther than anyone else in the world over the last 3 decades. With 577 world records under his belt, FURMAN holds the most Guinness World Records of anyone alive. In December 2011, the 60-year-old was named the person with the most world records. He presently owns 196 titles, ranging from creating the world's largest popcorn sculpture to running the quickest half marathon while balancing a 1-litre milk bottle on his head. He just set a world record for balancing the highest thing on his nose, a 15.9-metre long pole that slashed his face in the middle. However, the New York City-based health food store entrepreneur admits that he wasn't always so focused on being the greatest. He had a great obsession with the Guinness World Records, but he didn't think he could achieve one at first. As a kid, he wasn't particularly athletic. FURMAN became interested in medication when he was in his teens. His newfound spirituality inspired him to step outside of his comfort zone. In 1979, he set his first record for performing 27,000 jumping jacks. After meditation, he felt a surge of energy and wanted a way to channel it. He discovered that by combining several meditation techniques, he could do almost everything he set his mind to. FURMAN's jumping jacks record was the first of a long list of achievements. FURMAN claims that he discovered he had a natural knack for some records, such as balancing objects on his nose or chin. Other records, such as chopping apples in the air with a samurai sword, necessitated extensive preparation. Perhaps the most challenging of his championships was somersaulting over 20 kilometers straight. The rolls necessitated a blend of strength and endurance. He also said that the continual falling made him sick. Along the trip, he became ill 4 times. In the end, he found that breaking records was worth the arduous preparation. Number 4. This is a man who thrives on setting new records. Rishi from New Delhi holds a Guinness World Record. He's a Ripley's brand ambassador in India and holds numerous records. He also has 499 tattoos on his body, which is a Guinness World Record. He has 85 country maps tattooed on him, as well as 3 portraits. He has 25 world records, 8 of which are Guinness World Records. He once drove a kinetic scooter for 1,001 hours straight and had his teeth extracted at birth to fit 755 straws named Har Prakash Hari. He renamed himself Guinness Rishi. Mr. Rishi may be 74 years old, but he still has a youthful spirit. Number 3. Runner David Rush just achieved the world record for the longest distance travelled on foot while juggling 3 objects, covering 46 kilometres, 4 kilometres more than a marathon. According to Guinness World Records, Rush needed to run a little more than a half marathon to break the 25-kilometre mark, but he nearly doubled it before dropping a ball. For the juggling while jogging challenge, he ran 116 laps in 5 hours, 21 minutes and 23 seconds, adding to his already impressive tally of more than 150 world records. Rush was competing in his first ultramarathon. Running an ultramarathon is challenging enough, and for most people, putting one foot in front of the other for the course of the event demands their total focus. But Rush took it a step further by juggling for the duration of the race. Rush had to follow a few rules in addition to running a minimum of 25 kilometers. The attempt came to an end the first time he dropped a ball. Second, he was not permitted to pause at any point during the effort. He could slow down to a walk if he started cramping or wanted a break, but if he came to a complete stop, he was done for the day. Third, after the attempt began, no one was able to assist him in any way. He had to decide whether he needed food, water, or any form of aid on his own. Rush didn't need any food during his run, although he did mention in a YouTube video about the challenge that he would need to hydrate properly if he ran much further than 25k. He wore a Gatorade-filled hydration pack for the entire race, but because he couldn't stop juggling and no one could assist him to get the pack's hose into his mouth, he had to run the entire 46k with it gripped between his teeth. Rush broke the world record after 2.5 hours, but continued for another 3.5 hours until dropping a ball and ending the attempt. Number 2. Professor Burnaby Q. ORBAX, a scientific and humorous genius, debuted his first freak show in 1998 as part of the lamest sideshow on earth. The great ORBAX was well on his way to his PhD when he was removed from the institution owing to inhumane experimentation. He had a bachelor's degree in physics, a minor in mathematics, and a master's degree in physics. One of these experiments was to beat the previous record of 15 nails placed into the nose in 30 seconds. And it was set by Canadian Burnaby Q. ORBAX on July the 16th, 2015. So, our noses are a little bigger than we believe. Our nose is often thought of as a small triangular protrusion from our face, but it extends all the way back to touch our throat. That said, I'm not sure why someone would want to continually stick nails in their nose. Please don't tell me if any of you have ever tried this. If you end up in the ER, it'll be painful and expensive to fix. If it is self-inflicted, like this guy's, I'm not going to show nearly as much mercy. Number 1. Charles Chuck Helmke and Charlotte Guttenberg both hold the Guinness World Record for the most tattooed senior citizen of their gender, even though they technically share it. They're also dating, making for one of the most unique and colourful couples you'll ever see. Guttenberg, 67, has tattoos on 91.5% of her body and participates in tattoo shows and competitions. After the death of her husband, who was always against women getting tattoos, she got her first tattoo at the age of 57. Helmke, 75, is her travelling companion. She met him while getting a massive and painful tattoo on her leg. When she wandered into the studio late one night, Chuck was asked whether he was working. They told Chuck they had a lady who wanted a full garter tattoo and asked if he could just talk to her to keep her distracted. So they talked for 2 hours while he was holding her hand. Helmke, a retired defense trainer, author, and self-described yogi, got his first tattoo in 1959 while serving in the US Army. After a few additional tattoos in 1960, he took a break from tattooing until 2000. He's made up for lost time since then, covering 93.75% of his body. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I just don't get why people go to these extremes. Do they have a need to be famous? Seriously, my favourite has to be ASHRITA FURMAN, and the way he ran that marathon while juggling at the same time. Which one was your favourite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's our countdown of 15 unrealistic faces that exist in the world. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.